Going through a phase where I'm
You're
transitioning.
going through a phase, all right, motherfucker.
Where I'm transitioning, man.
You transition like DJ Juan Fernandez. Rough.
Oh. Yeah, no.
That's right. I know I said that shit. Did you see I went?
I don't DJ rough.
No,
my shit clean.
That wasn't for you. That was for you were a prop in that the whole thing.
You should have moved.
You were a prop. That wasn't you. You fucking get down, dude. I like the way you
totally used.
Well, yeah, I didn't. Yeah, I mean, I didn't change my name halfway through it and change my Instagram name.
I don't remember hearing rough transitions.
Well, that's because you weren't listening.
Oh, this is quite possible.
Not only are they shitty music, it were rough transitions, and they were.
Yeah, they play real techno to house to the techno to like weird.
No, Spencer House.
They do some strange
like
stuff.
Spencer House.
Exactly what they think about house music and Spencer.
I don't think they think about their set.
I don't know. Like I have no reference to Spencer.
Okay,
a lot of those cats, man, them young dudes. They just don't.
Now, like
that's cool, man. I'm down with being on the fly.
That's how you figure it out, though, man.
I'm down with being on the fly. I like being on the fly. Being on the fly is fun.
I mean,
remixes of like 311
Pick your set
in
to
a
be
dance
on the
format.
Sure,
you know
yeah.
what I mean?
Okay.
Maybe something like
that comes in
these
time,
pictures of you.
I ain't know what to talk to, man. I've been going techie as hell. I'm about to get back to house music though,
That's
man.
what
It's
I
like kind of
call it.
where
Dude,
I'm
why you
going
playing
right
Cutter
now.
House?
Like
no
this
one wants to
week.
hear this shit.
Last week.
We got two different conversations going on.
Sorry, we weren't listening to you.
We're live anyway.
Listen,
And welcome to another episode of Other Side of Vegas. I'm your host, Roy Evans.
Bruno Browning.
What's up, guys?
And these two guys we got right here.
We are definitely on the other side of Vegas.
You guys need a moment.
Sorry. Oh
man, we got Danny Coca and Lipptrixx in the building.
Tell us.
And these guys have released out on Soul Supplement Records.
Tell them where we're at, brother. But don't tell them. But tell them we're Studio B.
We're somewhere we won't be for long.
Studio B. We have options.
Yeah, I mean, well, we do have options, and it's nice to give certain things a break. Like I like being able to go live at Juicy Beats, which we'll be doing later on in the month. I like being downtown at big ups to my man Rob Alon, One Stop DJ Shop. But Soul Supplement Studios is the home base, and and we have other home bases. So
2 or 3 home bases.
Kind of, sort of, yeah, So let me get some business out of the way and see what we got going on here. Check my notes there.
Probably something from Tater Tot Tuesday we can't pronounce.
Tater tots? What?
Tater Tot Tuesday?
Oh.
Dude, we should have a competing party.
I sure like tater tots.
Tater Tots are good, boy.
Take these motherfuckers nowhere. I tell you. Yeah. Disrespectful bastard.
You should have separated us.
So, tomorrow, what we got jumping off is Techno Taco Tuesday at Tacos and Beer. We got Emily Lenz, Technasia, and Supernova. And I think I'm not sure if that's a tent party or not, but either way, it's going to be pretty big.
It should be a tent party.
Jumping.
That should be good.
I think so.
They always bring out a
big
big crowds there.
Yeah, I mean, they get it in. Wednesday, you got the Funk Down with Rob Alon and Doug W at the W Hotel. And down at DCR, the Downtown Cocktail Room, you got Solution Wednesdays with DJ Kaika. Also Wednesday. The fuck? You alright? Shit.
Old Smokey.
Darth Vader ass.
Oh my God, I knew that was coming.
Anyway, Wednesday at Juicy Beats. We got Wrecking Crew Wednesday with my girl Jessica Lynn and friends. They have Roswell and Speaker Honey and special guest Dirty Dan. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, that's gonna be cool. And,
Not me.
Thursday, you got Downtown Soul with Lenny Alfonso at DCR. At Juicy Beach, you got Soul Soul. It's going to be International Women's Day with Brenda D.
I'll be there.
And Jessica Lynn, Mindy J, Sky, Speaker Honey, and Vixen.
Cool.
All the women them.
All the girls there playing.
And Friday, you got Friday Night Social with your resident Carlos Sanchez, and Sensei is going to be in the building. And you have at DCR, you got Unfiltered Soul with Rob Alon and Doug W. And then after hours, you got Tempo with Agent Orange, Tavo, Vixen, and Disconnect. By the way, happy belated birthday to my man Disconnect.
Biatch.
And after that, you got Second Sundays.
Yep.
With these two
cats.
And we got Jeff Services in the building.
That's my dude.
DJ June?
And DJ June is going to be getting it in with us at the after party at Juicy Beats.
That shit talking bastard.
So make sure you get in where you fit in. Hope to see you out. No, like seriously. I hope to see you fucking out. Your punk ass is out. No, this is going to be a dope week of house music, tech house, techno, you name it. It's the other side of Vegas, goddammit. So, these two dudes, they got a release that's out now, and that's on Soul Supplement Records. First off, I've known these dudes, definitely more than 10 years now.
Yeah, definitely.
I'd say a good combination of 150 pounds ago, something like that.
Yeah.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, it was a long time ago, man.
The pain.
We didn't have to worry about nothing back in those days, did we?
Oh, we were professional
Yes.
jackoffs back then.
It was great times.
Yeah,
When the Red Room was open,
Oh man, yeah.
you know.
Well, actually, like it was already Red Room.
Yeah, it was already Red
'Cause
Room.
I don't think I knew you guys when it was Woody's.
No, but I
No.
remember.
No.
I remember like back in the, I guess what is it called, the Magoo's days or whatever, like back off of Decatur.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah.
Yeah, see, I only caught 2 of those.
Yeah.
I caught 2 of those and it was over. Then, anyway, we go back.
We do.
And for one, I mean, both of these cats got releases, you can check them out in their own right. But them doing something together with DJ White Privilege over here.
Okay.
Do you have any great coupons?
Okay, DJ T Whisper. That's right. I'm sitting there being minding my business.
Matter of fact, I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, I'm not just, saluting these cats because I know them, But it helps that I know them because it's easier to get them here. But they've all done shit in their own right, and they've got their own, they've warranted it.
And numerous releases on social. This is
Yeah.
Andy's second or third. This is Truck Nuts'
AKA Big Fudge.
this is his first release on his own. He's done remix work, but his remix work for me that he did for Doc Link kicked ass. And then Doc's, I was talking to Doc the other day about you, and he was like, "Yeah, we're talking about the attitude on remixes."
Yeah.
And he goes, "I love nothing more than when a remix supersedes the original, which yours did in
Right.
sales. So that extra $7 we can put towards college fund."
Hey, man, free
Oh, it
burrito.
takes some time.
Well, you got to make 100 before you get a check.
Oh,
So,
man. I'm just waiting when I can buy my first burrito,
but both
track money.
kick-ass producers. We would have more tracks from him if he wasn't such a perfectionist. But that's what makes you a great record producer.
Yeah, Daddy's really good.
You know what I mean? Like, matter of fact, he's had tracks that at least one track that you submitted to me that you were being nice, and I was thinking the same thing you were thinking. You need to submit this someplace else.
Yeah.
Still bigger label. Because
Yeah.
it's that good. You know what I mean?
Well, unfortunately, I
Unfortunately,
contacted,
he's still with me. Pass it down.
Yeah, buddy, of course.
But good guys, and both great DJs too. So,
Oh,
that's
this
there's
guy.
that. Well, there's not always a fucking direct correlation between great producer and great DJ. That's for damn sure.
Here you go, bro.
yeah, it's a rare thing.
It was me.
Yeah.
Well, first and foremost, I mean, Danny, you're great at what you do. I've seen you play drums. I mean, I've known you for a long, long time, so I know where your rhythm comes from. I mean, you actually have it in all 4 appendages of your body. You can make a rhythm happen. You know what I'm saying? When you play a drum set, that's not easy, man.
Yeah.
Those guys are superstars. Tommy Lee. I mean, you just go down the list of the guys that are self-made musicians because they can hold a beat. But what makes you real good is that, you know, more importantly, I mean, you're a sound engineer first. You know, you've been putting together people's rigs and like running their band and their shows.
Are you guys dating?
From like, I mean, ever since I can remember, man. I remember like when, right when we first met, I mean, we were like young in our 20s back then. And then all of a sudden you were like a sound engineer and doing your thing around town. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you were like making money off of the beauty bars, the Griffins, and like these places, man, when downtown was first starting to revitalize itself, you were like a part of it, you know what I mean? And yeah, again, you know, first and foremost, you're like a sound engineer first, you know, before
the wheels
everything.
fell off after first and foremost.
You know, I mean, so...
Salute to Danny.
Salute.
Well,
Salute.
Yeah, listen.
Just Danny's good at what he does, you know?
No, definitely.
I like to make a counterpoint.
Yeah, I know you will.
Wow.
Oh, fuck it. I might as well have a glass myself.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
One shot.
I've
One
never
shot.
seen this ever.
You ain't gotta ask me twice.
I've never seen this. I've never seen. Pour it up, Andy.
I'll let
Oh, he's giving me another glass.
Dude, drink it out of the bottle.
I can drink it out of the bottle.
This is, like I said, I'm fucking fascinated by the fact that you got such quality releases, but there's so many, or so few.
Right.
And then I go back and I listen to them, and they're just all so tight. And I think back, I know how you send me tracks. Hey man, is this track that's halfway or 1/4 done? What do you think about that? And I go, what's the rest of it? No, I just want you to hear that part. That's it, which drives me.
That's funny.
That ain't funny. It drives me insane.
That's actually funny. To me,
it drives me insane.
That's like if I did that to people,
Oh,
people would be
dude,
like,
I would never talk to you again.
I mean,
like seriously, you're the one person that has that latitude to do that because I know it's going to be worth it in the end. If someone sends me half-ass shit,
yeah,
I'm
we
like,
go a big shot.
That's why I hit him.
Making up for lost time.
dude, this is the first time I've ever seen this guy drink.
Salud, 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 salud,
Normally he's
salud,
mainlining
salud.
burritos when I see him. Got that burrito monkey on his back.
Oh, man. Jesus.
That's good shit right there.
Woo!
That's actually really smooth.
Yeah.
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 Is it like you
Good
remember?
Good stuff.
You sleeping with me?
Oh, man.
Oh yeah.
I do miss getting fucked
yeah.
up.
Yeah, man, we're doing
I've
it.
never seen you drink before.
Oh, dude.
Put it live on TV.
I just start making fun of
how I
everybody
gets
when
down, you know. This is a typical night here with the crew.
All right, listen, the wheels are falling
Don't
off.
judge us over this because
As you guys can see,
it's
the wheels are
just,
falling
you
off.
know, it's kind of a reunion thing right now. We don't normally drink like this when we're out, like this.
I've never seen Andy.
We
sober
get
in my
we
life.
get everybody to pour it for us.
I
We-
feel
we're
like
doing
shit
our
my
own.
stomach
We're
now.
doing our own pouring right now.
Sipping?
I can't sip. I drink to get drunk.
Yeah.
I know you're not supposed to say that. I like to keep it 100 as a kid say.
Bruh. Bruh,
You
bruh.
know, getting drunk is fun.
Yeah, so
So yeah, we had this release out. We had this release out last week. I think it hit out last week.
Pre-sales.
Last week, yeah.
Yeah.
Pre-sales last week.
It was it last week?
Yeah, was it 2 weeks
Yeah.
ago? I don't know.
Yeah,
man.
exactly.
It's been
Maybe
been
let me
kind
tell
of
the
a blur
story
for
since
me,
it's my
man.
label.
I have quite a bit of like event after event happening, you know, and it's not like, you know, like I'm too busy. It's just been stressful between the job and all.
Hey, Roy.
You know, some of us still have to go to work.
Roy, I get it. Yeah. So 2 weeks ago we had the pre-sales and actually we don't sell. We had a little mix up on the dates because of Track Source, but
Bong, bong.
it is it's a really good release. We have one other remix from Midnight Affair.
Midnight Affair.
Thank you for that.
AKA Midnight Cowboy.
Basically, there's all three different types, three different
Cowboy.
feels.
Right.
You know, for a little
Well,
bit.
Midnight
for a little bit-
Affair is more on the new disco tip.
Yeah.
And I was just straight disco, just kind of letting it all hang out. And Andy over here just kind of dropped the funk.
Yeah.
You know, just real chunky grooving house.
All three good. Besides that one harsh review from Mark Farina.
Oh, yeah. What are you gonna do? Can't please
I don't
them
know,
all.
man. You know,
I'm just kidding.
the vote's still out on that one, but we know you love us, Mark.
He has no idea what he's talking about because he's not watching the show. Go ahead.
Well, he showed me some love and put one of my tracks on his Gangster Cast.
That was amazing.
So
That's
at
dope.
least,
That's cool.
so it, you know, at least I'm there still
Yeah.
forever.
I remember the first time he used one of my songs on the set.
Yeah, it's on Sneaks Gangster Cast. You know, I can't complain.
Sorry. Oh my God, this is terrible. Worst idea
Could be worse.
It's the worst idea I've ever had.
Oh man.
That looks like a nice little spritzer you got
It
there.
is. You want one?
I sure would.
Uh-oh.
Bucket.
Should. Look, the tequila got him live.
Oh
Yeah,
man.
we done opened up the gates. So,
It's a wrap. This is gonna be a fun one, y'all.
Oh my
And it's
God.
gonna be completely like haphazard.
There's lessons being taught.
We having some fun. Rock with it, Bruno.
Well, you know, I can rock wild things. What do you guys got working on right now, playing wise? I don't get to play out with you enough. Andy, I haven't seen you play since your birthday.
so I have been on this. I recently decided that I quit my Sugar Shack show. I resigned from the Sugar Shack weekly because I'm trying to spend more time on my career. I'm in a process where I'm changing and trying to get more serious into the career that I work on my 9 to 5. I love house music. I always do it. So I've been a little bit more selective on my what I'm doing as far as playing out or even doing the show on the weekly because it's rough to get home and get there in time, have everything set up by the time the show's ready to go on. And
Right.
you know, I should have 2 hours there, but I sacrificed an hour just to get home and rush home when I was like, you know, 1 hour. It's a nice little time to play. However, you know, I would rather have 2 hours. On that note, I played, on my birthday with Carlos at Bocho for Friday Night Social. I'm playing this Friday for Matthew Bryan and Trevor Lamont at House Music Fridays in
Dude,
San
answer the
Diego.
question.
I was trying to get. There are lessons being taught today.
So I've been real selective on the playing out just simply because I have a lot of fun in producing at home now. So I spend a lot of time like in production. So I've got a bunch of different
That's
stuff.
all the time we have tonight, folks. So this is. I'm just fucking.
I got an EP coming out on Reason to Funk recordings out of the UK on John Hart's label. So they're all boots. So I've been playing around with boots and messing around with sampling again. Kind of like falling back in love with sampling again. Which is really strange because because I was so focused on making original stuff for like the past year or two. If I'm gonna put out anything, I want it to be original, but or
Nice,
remixes.
man. What do you got coming up? I haven't heard you play in a minute.
Well,
I know you're playing in July.
Actually, tonight,
after hours.
I'm playing tonight at 1 a.m. at Juicy Beats, but it's all techno. And it's for a party called Recess Music Group.
That's easy to say.
Yeah, RMG.
Say that 5 times fast.
Thanks. Recess Music Group.
So
Let's
yeah,
get it about.
so that's tonight. And what else? I haven't played with you forever. I know you played in July for us at the after hours with the after party with the after docs here.
Yeah. Honestly, man, nothing else. It's just I've just been, every time I'm home, I'm just in the studio, and it's just like I'm just constantly. I get so much more satisfaction from just making music or starting a track because it's like you have a beginning and end, and like you have a conclusion. You have something tangible that you can hold on to, and I've just like I don't really ask to play out anymore. Because I guess that's not where my brain's at right now. It's I just don't. It's probably just a phase I'm going through, but like I just don't really find it as satisfying as I used to.
Because I like it when you play.
Oh, appreciate it.
Get over it. I'm just saying.
Well, that's what makes it what it is.
Yeah.
Sometimes stepping away kind of makes people miss you a little bit.
Yeah.
And at the same time, you getting your shit together, you're getting your head right, doing what feels good for you.
Yeah.
And until the juices get flowing and you feel like playing out again.
It works the same way in
Yeah.
production too.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
man. It's like I guess you could say it just doesn't really feel good enough yet for me to just go out there and ask for gigs or kind of hustle on that side of things. It's like a lot of the times I would just rather go home and just focus on making dope music.
No, I get that.
But sometimes I go through phases where all I want to do is go through music or promos. But that, for me personally, it takes more energy.
Oh God.
To kind of go out and do just the social hustle part of it.
That should be your new DJ name.
Social hustle.
Social hustle.
DJ anti-social hustle.
DJ breast milk.
DJ no more
He said
social
DJ
hustling.
breast milk, man. Oh my God. Do not let him drink anymore.
Breast milk.
He warned
Told
you.
you.
He
You
warned
know,
you.
but I'm not turning down any paid gigs. So if you want to pay me, then
Well, yeah.
I'd gladly come out on a
Yeah,
Wednesday
dude,
night.
it's like I don't get paid on that shit, so I don't have much motivation.
But-
First time you ever.
Well, I mean, I gotta say, that's what makes it necessary to start changing that. And in all honesty, it kind of needs to come from both sides. If we wait for, let's call them the powers that be, whether it be promoters, bar owners, to say, hey, you know what? I think I'm gonna start paying people again. It'll never happen.
Yeah.
So on the other side, we need cats to stand up and say, hey, look, man, I'd love to play, so what we working with?
I know, Mr.
Yeah.
I know, Mr. Weekly Promoter, you're getting money from this. I need this much money to play for this long.
Well, you know what? There's a lot of things that can be changed.
But you can't really approach it that way. So it's really kind of roguish if you step to people that way. So I've always done it for the love. I've spent all my money on my equipment, my records. I got lots of
You're part
real
of the
good
problem.
records. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm a part of the problem,
No,
Bruno.
you gotta
I get it.
Yeah, you are.
I get it. I'm a part of the problem.
You have to know your self-worth,
Yeah.
and you have to get paid.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is that's why that's why I don't go out and play much anymore.
What else?
I think also part of the reason I don't
play
really hustle for
paid
gigs is because a lot of the times, I would get booked and it would just be like from people that have heard me play a lot and they'll just give me the most retarded time slot. And it might sound like some diva shit, but I don't really care anymore. It's like if you've heard me play and you know how I play, but you're gonna put me in a time slot that's wrong for me.
Yeah.
And it's like, fuck, I can't do it, and it's for free, and I'm playing for free, and I get everyone else does too, but it's like I can't keep playing for free if you're gonna give me a dumbass time slot.
Give me the right time. If at least respect me and know what type of DJ you are.
That's all I'm saying.
And then put you into a time slot that's according to your skill set. You know what I mean? Because again, you're doing it for free, so you're looking out for them.
Right.
Also, you're having some fun when you go out, but more importantly, you're doing it for them. You know what I mean? You're doing it for them.
It's multifaceted. You have to be able to also. Everyone has to be aware. Like playing now that I got asked to play with you and Tony or whatever, there was like 5 cats playing at Commonwealth, and he was Midnight Cowboy or Midnight Affair. Yeah. Midnight Affair was super cool. He hit me up and said, "Hey, you want to come down and play?"
Yeah.
And I looked at the lineup and I was like, "There's all these guys can handle their business, and you don't need a 5th guy." Not with the lineup. You have to be able to bow out and not. And it was a paid gig, but I turned it down because that was just, you're a whore at that point.
Right.
The same token, a lot of these free places, we're starting something new on Sunday. There's going to be about $5 cover at the door. It has to have value. Whatever we do has to have value in the scene. If it doesn't, it's not worth it.
Sure.
And that's, as DJs, at least if you suck, then you shouldn't, you don't have any reason to ask for whatever. But you guys, there's certain cats, there's value in you hearing you play. And that goes all around. There's a lot of ways that manifests, the way I look at it.
Right.
A lot of ways that will make the scene better. And it's different, but you got to do it.
Well, I mean, every other city except our town, because where I grew up, it's only $3 to $5 to get in anywhere. That's it. $3 is real weird. Like, how do you show it with $3? You know what I'm saying? Nobody even breaks change.
Bro, you look like you're stewing on this pretty good.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you have
So
something.
where I'm from, and, everything is like $5 to get in. You know what I mean? Everything. Even if 30 people show up, at least they paid $5 to get in, and you guys can make something happen with it. Here, it's there's so much free stuff, and it's always been so. I'm on the list, or this or that, this or that. I'll comp you bottles if you bring this amount of people coming in. Type of town.
But we don't
in
play
my
that scene.
experience since I moved here in '99. So I've been through it all, from Utopia to Hush to all the different spots, man.
we all have,
you know
but
what I
we
mean?
don't play those spots. Those
I'm
spots,
sorry.
we don't play those spots, so that doesn't happen anymore. What were you gonna say?
It's been the same since then, which is they don't pay you. It's free.
I think there's so many different moving parts here. On one side, you made a comment, but if you suck, my thing is like, if you're new and someone's allowing you to play, how do you know if you suck or not?
Exactly.
So, and luckily, like we haven't really brought it up in a while, so I don't know if it seems fresh now, but we used a phrase a while ago called gatekeepers. Who the fuck is gonna say, hey, look, man, you're talented, and you can do things, but you're new, so you're open.
Yep.
I don't give a fuck how much they talk about themselves. That's kind of what they're supposed to do in order to be seen.
Yeah.
So in a way, like the new cats are doing their fucking job. They're hustling. They're grinding. The fact that they suck. How about this? Who the fuck is telling them?
Yeah.
Yep.
So
I can be out
so I can't knock them for doing what they're supposed to do.
Right.
Right.
But at the same time, when you have bar owners that have foregone the producer, that was always the liaison. He was the recruiter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He would cultivate and curate the sound for that night.
That's right.
And that would assemble like-minded people, and that's how the party grew.
Right.
When it's just, let me put on 12 DJs, and hopefully all of them will bring all of their friends, which they share.
And they're 12 dudes.
There's no math there.
Right.
There's literally no math when you got a group of friends and you're trying to get them to bring their friends.
That's right.
They're all playing. Like,
And as soon as the DJ gets off, that whole group of friends leaves.
Well, that's just called being a
like-
lazy promoter.
It's like
Exactly.
you're like
But
you
that's the whole
see
thing, but you don't really
the
have
groups that are
promoters.
there. It's all
Yeah.
hot right when it starts, and
you
then
have DJs that
each
want
guy
to.
that spins,
wanna play, so
their
they throw
guys
their own party.
leave once they're done.
I almost can't blame them for that. You know what I mean? Like if no one else is putting you on and you new and you hungry and you manage to talk yourself into an establishment and someone's dumb enough to give you a gig, I can't be mad at them.
Dude, 90% of all record labels are starting for that same reason.
Sure.
I can't be mad at that. So they may have a long way to go, and technically, they may devalue things.
Well, you know what actually really it's like when I was first starting, man, here in Vegas, we used to have this place called the Emergency Room, and you probably know what I'm talking about.
Still there, but it's
Well,
not called the
it's not
emergency
called the
room.
emergency
there.
room.
But
And it was pretty much open mic night for DJs.
Oh, man.
And you had a 30-minute set, and you would literally go down and
remember
sign
that
your name.
crap, man?
And
It'd be drum and bass to techno
but it was
to like
productive
trance
because
to
the
house.
crowd was brutal.
Right.
It was fucking productive
It
because
was
I
like
think that would be a good thing.
Evening at the Apollo.
That was the
Because
gatekeeper.
they would basically, the crowd didn't give a shit. Like if you sucked, they would clear the floor, and nobody would be dancing within the first track. Like they were hardcore about it.
Tight ship.
And so back then it kind of sucked for me because I was in a really like deep, funky house, and everybody in Vegas was playing these fucking tweaker breaks, cracked out break beats.
No, you've always
And
played house.
I would come in and I would play like Supreme Beans of Leisure, right?
That goes in break.
And then the fucking floor cleared. And what's funny is that's how I met Mike Wilson. He used to come there all the time and dance. And he, you know how he is. He doesn't give a shit. Like, he'll tell you exactly what he thinks. He was like, hey, man, your shit sucked. But next week, when you come back, you gotta play this.
Hey, we have a contender. Hey, Roy, we have a contender. We have a contender.
And even though I didn't like to play what they were into, but he was like, hey, man,
Hold on.
you gotta play all this
Give his
beat,
breath.
like all this progressive house shit. And I came next week and I played exactly what he told me and I fucking smashed it. But all I'm saying is those kind of nights are productive. I think they're healthy.
We have a contender.
Yeah.
Hey man.
I'm not going to ask you to do it.
Holy
so
shit.
I really want you to.
That was fucking hilarious. No, but you're right though. And I made comments like, regardless of who pays for me, I work for dancers.
Right.
And
It's all about them.
don't get me wrong, like, it starts with us. How am I feeling? What do I want to share? Like, well, what's moving me right now.
Right.
You know, it starts there, but you gotta juxtapose that against whether or not it's working or not.
Sure.
You know, you gotta look up every now and then. But that's one of the things that makes Vegas a different kind of metal.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because we like to say steel sharp as steel, but Vegas is different. You don't really get that. You don't get that the same kind of call and response where you throw something out there and you get a feel for it. You know,
instant feedback.
There's no wall for that to bounce back on you and get some feedback from, because most people, for one, show up really, really late.
Right.
And I can't be everywhere.
And at the same time, a lot of people aren't. They don't dance.
I'll tell you what.
Like other cultures do.
Sure. Yeah.
That part is kind of missing, and
We're working on that though.
yeah, we definitely got a plan in place.
A campaign.
Yeah, it's a real campaign. Like I'll tell you about it later. But the thing is that we can't continue to wish and hope for things that may be bygone or seem to be going away.
Yeah.
At some point, you got to play a part in cultivating and facilitating these things.
Bring it
Right,
back.
we have to work with how the circumstances are now.
Exactly.
You know, like the tools that we're being given or the way things are now, we have to try to work within that system or that perspective or whatever's going on. I totally agree.
Yeah.
You know,
Shit in one hand and wish the other. See which one fills up the
I'll
fastest.
tell you what.
Well, I mean, yeah, like you said. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I think that the direction that it's all going is that everybody could be a producer or a DJ these days.
Right.
That's
It
not
doesn't
true.
really. It doesn't really take much to go out there and become a DJ. Like if you want to just start. For those that really love it, you see who really likes it. You know, you could tell by the way they play, who's really fucking into it, and you know, I mean, that kind of thing starts with the passion, of like the real passion of hearing it, like really hearing it. Doesn't matter what style you play, whether you're a tech guy or house guy, deep guy, Afro dude, you know what I mean? New disco. The guys that really hear it, like when they play, you fucking know it, like you feel it.
Yeah, there must be a bunch of deaf guys around lately.
And that's the you know, a little different. We have a little different dynamic here in our town because we do have a big DJ circle of people that actually get paid by the clubs and those other big establishments to play, and then the guys that are constantly playing everywhere.
There's two different
and
worlds
doing
happening.
and then doing their promotions going on, making their money. You know what I mean? So there's a different dynamic going on with the two different like
But that don't
DJs,
affect us,
you know what I
though.
mean?
Really?
No, I'm just saying. But,
Well,
you know,
he's
but
talking about
I'm
the two
just
different
speaking
worlds,
about
you know.
passion. Doesn't matter what you know what your style is. I just think that
It's arguable that
I just think-
motherfuckers that get paid probably have the least amount of passion. But I mean, in a way, they are two different worlds, and I think it's arguable that one kind of does affect the other, only because there's no champion. You know, there's nothing that says, "Hey, look, there's an option. There's another option here that's equally as cool for totally different reasons." Like, I mean, but if you got a mature palate and you done popping bottles and, you know, you want to get your cardio on, you want to fucking...
I beg to differ.
really bang on the floor, right?
You want to make that sweat deposit.
Right.
I mean, because some people still live for that. They just don't really...
tap into it the same way.
It's kind of hard to say. I mean, right now we're trying to find them because they have to still exist. And if not, the bottom line is that we can't stop if we wanted to.
I think
Yeah, you're pretty much right, man. I've tried to quit house music probably about 10 times in my life. I swear. I mean, I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna I've been chasing house music since I was 14. I was actually 14 years old, sneaking into places, sneaking into parties in DC. Like I've been a scene head since I was more than half my life, man. You know what I mean? Like, I live for the funk. I die for the funk.
Okay, we can't leave this on the. We can't.
But what I'm saying is, but I think that, yeah, you're right. It's weird because, but what I'm saying is the dynamic of our town is a little different because we mingle with a lot of those cats that are like, you know, resident.
None of them motherfuckers.
The resident DJs that, like, you know, I mean, well, I guess they come around, right? You know, I don't want to drop names because, you know, but, you know, I'm just saying they come around and shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, and they're hella cool, man.
And that's my beloved.
I'm talking about like the Frank Rempe's out there, you know, I'm talking about, you know, like,
like
you know what I'm saying? Like the guys that are out there doing the commercial, like, gig, and then they come around and then they drop a little bit of underground every once in a while, you know?
I hate their guts.
Well, actually, Kid Conrad.
That's a little
he'll
harsh,
do some
but
underground
yeah,
stuff
okay.
once in a while. I remember Kid Conrad used to play downtown, and he used to play
Yeah,
house.
right? You know what I mean?
That's a million years ago.
I mean, but
Yeah,
that's,
Bruno. Okay, Bruno.
Lesson learned. Point 1. In spades. Point 2. I'm not going to leave it on the table. I think you guys discounted the cats who were coming out to see us play all the time, who are there, and they're putting that sweat equity in. It's like they're faithful, and it's growing.
Oh, absolutely.
No, I just didn't get a chance, but I was trying to get that in before I got too far away from the point that how much we appreciate those guys, and they are doing yeoman's work to come out on a school night and support what we feel. These other motherfuckers, these $1 million motherfuckers, I don't give a fuck about them.
Of course not.
They're
Of course
irrelevant.
not. Of course not.
But, I mean, so
There's a big difference between what we do.
That's my point.
You know?
So I couldn't care less about those guys.
But it's cool that they should come out every once in a while and show us love.
I hope they get hit by buses.
Because we don't go out there and do that with them. But they come out every once in a while and show us.
Who cares? I mean,
You don't, obviously.
neither should you, because they don't care about you.
I'm just a loving cat. I ain't trying to get conflictual or make this about
now we're making up words?
I'm not making this like, you know.
well, see, that's why I'm
making this like about, well, they suck and we don't. Kind of thing.
I'm saying we are the other side of Vegas. That's the side everyone knows.
Yeah.
So therefore,
Exactly.
who cares? We're talking about what we do and what we influence and how we interact. And how we do our
specific
thing.
scene.
Yeah, so
but it's nice to understand both animals. You know what I mean?
I couldn't care less.
I see that.
I mean,
I get it. It's okay.
There's not caring, and there's the need to focus on what you got going on.
Yeah.
Because what's going on out there is already established.
Yeah, you
So
go.
I mean, generally speaking, yeah, technically it's not caring because I have to focus on what we're doing and what we're trying to accomplish.
Yes,
but
sir.
yeah, I mean, like the cats that you're speaking about, like those are like our beloveds. They grew up here. That's why I make reference to, you know, coming home, you know, for all house heads.
Oh, yeah.
You know, that's what Suckin' Sundays is about. You know, coming home. What you got to do if you're 9 to 5, that's grown folk business.
Of course.
And that's what they're doing. That's they're paying bills, and I'm all for that. But when they want to come home, you know, I can't wait for them to come home.
No, sir.
To, you know what I mean? Like, we got shit to do. We got work to do in between that time. And that's what we need to build and focus on. So, I mean, I get it both ways. You know, on one side, it's not really completely not caring. Because, I mean, there are, like I said, genuine beloveds, like cats that I love dearly that are out there making money. And more power to them. But, you know, this is like motherfucking Africa. You know, like this, you know, when you're ready to fucking come home, you know, we in the mines, you know, making this shit happen.
He said we're in the mines.
It was a stretch. You know, it was a fucking stretch. I told you it was going to be an interesting one, goddammit.
Boy,
but,
genuflecting.
better than gentrifying.
Nossa Peña!
Okay, this is
I don't
Richard
know.
Bruno Browning. And that's Roy Evans.
Hey, yo.
I don't know.
Well, at least you didn't say Wakanda forever.
Yeah,
Hey, have you guys seen that movie yet?
I haven't seen it. I'm just referring to the line.
I haven't either, man. I haven't. You seen it before I did?
Lessons
Wow,
at the
man.
top.
Yo, if Kelly, if you're watching this, please don't make me go watch it at 8 a.m. tomorrow
good God.
because of this. Everybody's seen it but us. We're bad Marvel
I want to give a shout out to Sean Seville
fans.
Jr.,
We are.
one of the most underrated fucking house DJs in Vegas, in my opinion.
Really?
Yeah.
Sean who?
Sean Seville Jr. He's been doing a night in the back room of the Griffin for like the last 6-7 years called Touch of Disco.
Yeah.
And you know, I always feel like it's a night that people like all the so-called house heads have always completely slept on. It's every third Saturday of the month.
Really?
And
Remembers
I've
that?
never heard of it.
Hey,
Yeah,
check
Touch of
this out.
Disco.
Let me get close
He should
up.
probably submit them.
I will be one of them because it's not on my radar.
yeah, I mean, well, see, to me it's a shame because I've been going there for years, and this dude plays the dopest shit.
I'm blaming you for not
Like,
telling us.
I've told you guys. I've told
You
everybody.
never told me before.
I swear to God.
You know what? He may have told me.
Really?
Yeah.
Listen,
He-
and it's,
he may have.
and it's beside the tie. Can't
Huh?
go wrong. It's beside the tie.
Beside the time.
It's beside Le Tie. So you can go get some.
Oh yeah,
Food.
yeah, right.
I
Totally.
don't know what the fuck that was. Sign of the Times or what the fuck?
That's what I'm saying.
Listen, that's the least of
That's
things.
all I'm saying.
That's the least of the things you say, motherfucker.
When I used to work at Beauty Bar, I would fucking like take off right next door, go spin a set, and go back to work.
Oh yeah,
So
that's
what
your
was
like
that again?
home
What
though.
was it again?
It's called Touch of Disco.
Every
It's
third
Saturday of the month.
God, I gotta put
And
that in my
it's
phone or
actually
some
Midnight
shit, man.
Affair is a resident and Sean Seville Jr. And it's, in my opinion, he plays nothing but like dope house, dope disco house, and it's all underground shit. But what's funny is I've rarely seen
I've never heard of it.
a head, you know, at this night.
Well, if he'd get rid of the touch of our midnight disco or affair at Midnight
Touch of-
Cowboy,
touch
I'd be
of-
there.
Touch of
Touch of
silky
disco.
pussy.
Yeah, that's- you know,
on
it's the
my
first time I've heard of
fucking face. What the fuck? You're like, it doesn't make no sense. I'm like, touch
All right,
of
so
disco.
check it out. Check it out.
Wow.
I'm not gonna do this month because I got San Diego and Phoenix. So that because
Yeah.
third Saturday that's the 17th.
Yeah.
So I won't be here. But
Maybe-
come April, that'll be the 21st. I'm in there like swimwear.
Yeah, I'll commit to that one too.
It's really, I've felt passionately about it because every time I've ever walked in there, everyone is dancing
Really?
and they're fucked up and having a good time.
Well, now that I see that you know how to swim in these waters, maybe I'll come and buy you a drink.
Little fishy fishy.
Little fishy, fishy.
Little catfish.
You know what that means?
ridiculous.
The fucking wheels have come
The
off.
wheels.
They have come
After
off.
he did the ooly booly thing, whatever that was, that was that Kuda Matata.
It's just like, you know,
Wow.
Well, you know what?
I'm speechless.
Seems like bumping it up a notch just seems, you know.
Unnecessary.
You know, let's keep it repo sizzle dizzle.
Oh my
And,
goodness gracious.
Yeah.
What? Oh man. Dude, I'm
Jumped off
I am
here.
so
Yeah,
much
let's
trouble.
just jump off the jump off.
yeah. I felt like we got a little sidetracked at some point.
You think?
Yeah.
Were we ever on?
I think that Roy
About
agreed to this
halfway,
whole
yeah.
thing to prove a point.
Uh-oh.
Yep, that's what he did.
There you go. Way to let it go there. Way to be a champ.
Good thing it's only
Oh
like
my God.
metal.
No, I'm not toasting you.
Oh.
I'm trying to ask you to pass that down.
Oh, okay. Where's it going?
He's not trying to be
Yeah.
nice or anything. He's trying to tell you what to do.
Listen, don't confuse my honesty with assholery.
With country.
And that's house music right there.
No, it's not. That's Bruno
It's
being a
not
man.
actually. It's
Being a
quite
man.
matter of fact,
Keeping it
guys.
real.
Swamp nuts.
Don't get it confused.
I like to keep it real, man.
Alrighty.
Too many trophies for people that can't bet.
Alright. Okay.
It's true. Yeah, I'm
We can get the little Wi-Fi action there. We get the Bluetooth over there.
boom, Bluetooth, handshake.
Yeah.
Now I'm craving chicken parmesan.
Yeah, can you eat that stuff? I'll make you a good. Yeah, I'll make you a good.
Oh
chicken
damn.
parmesan,
This
boy.
whole time I'm gonna fuck that up. Oh yeah. Blues definitely come off now. So, we got promoters that don't promote. We got DJs that shouldn't be DJing. We got two worlds in one city. Let's talk solutions.
Yeah, I'm down with
It's a
solutions.
glutton for punishment.
I'm Asian, man, so we don't like to point. In Asia, we don't like to point fingers. We like to create solutions.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like we do the
Like we don't talk a bunch of shit. We just get solutions going and we move
And
on.
devalue
We
the
move
dollar.
on. We move on to the next thing.
We
You know
do
what I'm
the
saying?
old-
So that's all we do.
bullshit, You know,
So,
but
We ain't trying to puff our chests out and be all
Hey,
stuck on ourselves
hey,
here. We just want to make create a solution
North
in
Korea.
town.
Dial it back.
We're trying to create a solution.
Yo.
We're trying to create a solution.
You guys have no fucking idea. Holy shit. So, no, seriously though.
You have to have integrity. Everyone involved has to have integrity.
Yes.
And that integrity lies in not booking people that shouldn't play. And you have to be, it's like we jokingly say, 3 DJs and the third's not needed. Not as a put down, but that we can handle it if somebody falls out. Therefore, it allows us to, the people we bring in, we are definitely selective. And there's enough DJs in town for us to book local cats that could meet that criteria. You guys are a couple of them, but we're booked out till December. Everyone's got to have that integrity, from the owners to the promoters, and someone has to say no. So, whether it's getting booked too much in the same week, whether it's not getting paid, and you get paid in a lot of ways. Everything we talked about before, everyone has to stand up and say no, and that might mean you don't get to play. But
well, you're talking about quality control.
Yeah, you have to be willing to sacrifice that. Yeah. Take the, you can have free speech, but you can also get fired. Basically, well, you got to stand up.
Yeah, I mean, also part of the solution is to maybe take your personal time and listen to somebody's mix that's trying to get their foot in the door and give them honest critique.
Yeah, listen to their mixes.
Yeah, but that's the problem too. Is when I was helping run Nacho House, a lot of people would hit me up for gigs, and I'd be like, "Send me your mix."
Poor bastard.
I'd be like, "Send me your mix, please." I'd be like, "I'll listen to it," but nobody would. So
really?
Yeah, and that's,
are you kidding me?
Nobody would send me their mix because they didn't want to take the time.
They just wanted to play in front of you.
They just wanted to play. And,
fuckers.
I don't know. I remember, dude, when I was trying to get a gig back in the day, that's what I had to do.
You had the CDs in your pocket.
I had CDs in my pocket. I'd be like, please let me know if you think it's good enough for me to play. Because I understood, I took it that seriously.
But why would someone book someone? That's the crazy part. Why would you buy something without liking to look at it? Like, would you buy a car, didn't know the color? Like, of course you want to listen to the set. That's silly to think otherwise. But somehow that's becoming accepted. You know what I mean?
Well, because I don't think music is really the main focus anymore. A lot of it is numbers, business, alcohol sales, marketing.
Listen. It's always been that.
We're getting somewhere.
It's always been that at some level.
What's your age of your crowd?
But now it's even more so.
Yeah. What's the age of your crowd? Okay.
But it's also the social aspect, the party aspect. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? A lot of the times you go to a party, a local party, and it's like people don't really give a shit what's being played. They just go in there because it's a cool party. And they know they're going to meet hot chicks, and it's going to be a fun social event. So it's socially driven way more than it is music now.
But can you make the distinction? Do you think people just don't know that? They don't. Is the music good and they discount it? Like, you know what I mean? Like it's kind of some gray areas there.
Right.
Where someone that does it, it's like my theory of booking. The casinos the music directors could save a lot of money if they, for like 1 year, would book some real house guys. Because if no one knows the difference that are from small towns that come to visit here,
sure,
they'd save millions of dollars and they would educate people with some real music. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? But that's a bold chance to take, and no one's ever thought they would do that or come up with that idea. No one knows, so it could be the same thing.
Yeah.
People have no idea. They're just there for a social event. So.
Well, yeah, there's a ton of gray areas, but I guess I'm just pointing out the obvious, of what I pick up on when I do go out is a lot of times you can feel that it's more directed towards the social aspect of things.
How many people you got coming with you? What kind of crowd can you pull is like a big question.
Or like people just happen to go out because, it's a cool party. Let's go.
Yeah, you're talking about the days of MySpace.
He said the days of MySpace.
Well, man, because right now, at least I haven't heard that in a long time. Because that's why it's kind
they
of
just want a crowd.
But back then when DJs first became popular, that's why I call it the days of MySpace.
I'm just saying the way the promoters are these days. There
are no promoters. There
are. But I'm saying so recently I've gone out because I don't go out. Mm-hmm. But I have gone out. I did go out. I did go out one night. I went out the other night, and I went out real late. And I'll tell you what, man, these after hours places. Here in town, I mean, it was about like their crowd. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
but
it
that's
was,
not us though.
I know.
Our shit. We're talking about what we know about,
Yeah.
and we're trying to keep it as condensed as possible, as without being too unnecessarily arbitrary. Because unfortunately, we are in a box. We don't want to be in a box, but you know, someone put baby in the corner, and goddamn it, here we are. You know, so like my thing is this: when it comes to the lack of gatekeepers, the lack of people saying, I'll make an example. There was one establishment that cut a bunch of nights, and they really thought that they had the shit covered and didn't think about what they were going to do, and now they like doing fucking, you know, $4 margaritas and shit because then you know what I mean. So it's like, there's no real forethought.
Right.
It's just what can we do to make money, you know, and no one's really
that's all they're on.
cultivating because there's no liaison in the middle. There's no music directors. There's no DJ shoes. You know, there's no
Pauly D.
no Robert Lasix. You know what I mean? There's no cats that say, hey, look, man, okay, first off, what are you trying to do?
Right.
You know, and like steering these cats, you know.
Because
like,
there's a way to do both.
yeah.
There's a way to make money and cultivate a scene, a vibe.
Exactly.
I mean, but it has to have a lot of thought. You have to do some planning. You have to actually get the right people in the right situation, the right venue, and that requires work, and people are lazy.
It's a very delicate balance.
You're a delicate balance.
I sure am, big boy. Deedle deedle.
You ready for a nerd?
No,
But yeah,
no one needs another one.
It's it's a fine line, man. You're walking on eggs. You know, talking about that kind of perfect scenario. That's something that's carefully curated with tons of thought over a long period of time.
But it can be done.
But that's
Well,
the whole,
sure, I'm not
that's
saying
the whole
that it
thing.
can't.
Like on our side, it's not. So you got someone that that bust their ass, or maybe they didn't bust their ass. You know, maybe they got good credit and they got some liquid, and they put up dough for an establishment.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they invest in brick and mortar. They
Yeah.
invest in inventory. They invest in tools for the trade to get the most quality shit, and then what they rely on
Is an afterthought.
to keep asses in the seats. Yeah,
You know, it's like buying a Ferrari and going to Walmart and put your tires on, buy new tires. It's the same. You put all this money in your establishment, and then you short stroke the entertainment. Or the thought.
But it's a mindset.
Well-
If what it takes for you to get that MPV is waiting for your taxes, and that could be like a fucking Ferrari for you. So yeah, it makes sense to go to Pep Boys and get the fake spinners and put on them. You know what I mean? Like,
Spinner
it's
hubcaps.
just-
What do you think, Andy?
It's
About
relevant.
solutions?
Wow.
What do you think?
Well, you know, I mean, I'm not a promoter. What would I know, right? I mean, I've only thrown a few parties.
What have you done lately?
For me,
I work at a mortgage company. So
Hey.
what do I do lately? So yeah, so
We're talking about house music.
well, so I'm just saying. Oh, I've got an EP coming out.
Oh,
I do.
good God.
I got a new
Pick it up,
EP
come
coming
on.
out, man. Like,
Gee, what solution-wise?
But as far as like like promoters, that's what I'm saying. We live in Vegas. That's what I was touching on earlier. Is that it's really about the numbers that people can bring out. They don't really care about.
But
their
what's the
entertainment.
solution?
I honestly think charging at the door is a good thing, a good start for you guys. And the reason why is because you're gonna see who's serious about coming out. First of all,
that is the smartest thing you've said all night.
or you're talking
you're
about
gonna see
value.
who's serious about coming out to
Whatever
your
you do
type
has
of
to have
event.
value.
You know, and then like I said before, like where I'm from, it's always like $3 to $5, $10, $8, $7, like very odd numbers, but it's never exceeds like $10.
Is that Vietnam?
It's the DC.
Okay, how about this?
Fuck, guy.
Yeah, I mean it's okay. So
Fuck, man.
Here's the thing. When it comes to like taking responsibility, for one, there aren't a lot of cats that are willing to put themselves out there. So it's a lot easier for most dudes to just be the DJ and, you know, I do what I do when I can do it. Somebody is,
Definitely.
you know, is willing to let me play or whatever the case may be. And again, I can't knock that. But at the same time, I like having a platform and a forum for people to say what's on their mind. But on one side, you got way too many opinions that basically don't put in the energy to be a part of the solution. Now, don't get me wrong. Knowing or having an idea of what that solution could be is a start, and we all need that. I mean, everyone's got to start somewhere. Everyone can't be in a position to affect change, but coming to a consensus as to what that change should be
that'll probably never happen, really. I mean, because
you're right.
There's many solutions.
That's why we're here.
Yeah.
But ultimately, at some point, it becomes put up or shut up in whatever way that is, and at some point it'll take shape.
Because it's hard.
It is.
I mean, it's hard.
It is.
We can all agree that it's hard.
But when it comes to something that's hard, you know, what people are willing to do for what they love has no bounds. You know, you got motherfuckers that go above and beyond for a motherfucker that they shouldn't be going above and beyond for. You know, so here it is. You got something that it may not be quite as tangible, but what built it was.
Right.
What brought us to 2018, let's call it 10 years ago. And then this is not really a bring the old days back kind of thing, but I'm talking about how something that's right lasts.
Right.
You know, when it's right, I mean, at some point, who the fuck is going to remember which night they bought bottle service and fucking blacked out any goddamn way? What I'm saying is that, you know, when you cultivate an experience, that's what we were all a part of.
That's the word, experience. Yeah.
You know, we were all a part of people that put effort into cultivating an experience, and we still relive that shit to this fucking day. Now, yeah, in some cases it can be argued that, you know what, what's in the past is the future. But if the future's not built on the past, then what the fuck is it?
Yeah, no, it's not.
You know, and I only have one thing to say, really, honestly, is that, I mean, I've been in a lot of different cities, you know, and I've lived here for a long time, and I think the thing that we need to do that separates us from the rest of the crowd is kind of get back to what other cities do. Stop throwing our shit in these bars and these restaurants, and kind of get back to the warehouse. Supply our own fucking beer. Supply our own water, our ice and shit. Charge at the doors. You know what I mean? Kind of get by, like just barely by. And we got our own scene back again. Because I mean, I lived in Phoenix, and Phoenix kind of has but the way their bars are ran, they are geared for the underground because they like that shit. They don't like that douchey ass shit, but they do that douchey ass shit during the week, and on the weekends it's all underground. So they've got their shit together as far as their promotion idea. They ain't putting like those big guys out here like a fucking Wiz Khalifa on a Saturday night. They can do that shit on a Wednesday night here and make as much money. You know what I'm saying? Because it's all young motherfuckers going after that shit anyways. So if you really want to create like a better source of our sense of what we can control, I think we should just take it back to the warehouse. Honestly.
I definitely agree.
Yeah. But did we have to fight the fact that, I don't know, I've been here for 19 years and I've never seen anyone try to fucking kick it towards the warehouse. Because people don't want
to. I don't mean warehouse, but like a different space.
You used to have
just smaller spaces.
Factory.
Like smaller spaces. We don't need a big warehouse to do it in a right little space. There's all these little like boutique like studios and shit downtown that we can rent out for the night for like $300. You know what I mean? And like, you know what I mean? Like super dirt cheap, you know what I mean? That have bathrooms.
That's an option.
Shit, you know what I mean? Like, and instead of packing the place with 1,000 motherfuckers, we got 150 of us vibing it up. You know what I mean? So we need to take it a little bit more out the bar, out the liquor license place, and just, you know what I'm saying? It sucks. I know it's terrible. Who could go without alcohol here in Vegas? Like us? I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, fuck, you know what I'm saying? But I mean, we're willing to make it work. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
You got legal issues.
Wait. Did he say no alcohol?
Yes, he did.
I didn't say no alcohol. I said we run it the way we run it. You know what I'm saying? Like we gotta kind of take it back to that thing, man.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? And I think that that's the only way that we can have like real control of like the douchebaggery that comes in and out the place. Like we just kind of just keep it us.
But
You
I
know
think
what
a
I
lot
mean?
of places are doing that.
I don't think we have a problem with douchebaggery.
No.
No, we don't have that issue. I'm just saying, but like, the douchebaggery that I find is from the guys that are running the spots that we're working with. You know what I'm saying? Those are the toughest parts of doing it. Those are the toughest
You know what?
dynamics.
Yeah.
Those are
Okay,
the toughest.
I see what you're saying.
You see what I'm saying?
I see what you're saying.
I'm not gonna call no names out, no spots names. I'm just saying.
Yeah, but you know what? In the end, that it kind of goes back to that, making do with what you have kind of thing.
Hey, that's great that they do it though.
And to a certain extent, yeah, I do agree at some point. But at the same time, sometimes it warrants knowing that it can be done. Sometimes the best way to know is doing it at a different level. You know what I mean? So like to come out the gate and just try to do something like that kind of doesn't really make as much sense. But building something a lot smaller and then trying to segue into something like that,
But you almost have to.
But
Yeah.
I mean, I think that is our, as a city, this is our solution. It's just, it takes a lot to get there because
don't get me wrong, I love my city.
I love you guys that let us do our thing.
I don't
But
care about
as
the
far
city.
as what we do, I think
I don't care
for
about
us
the
to
city.
be able to do.
Like our shit is something that unfortunately needs attention because we're a different animal.
Yep.
We cannot be compared to LA. We can't be compared to Phoenix. We can't be compared to fucking Virginia. It's a totally different animal. It's a totally different mindset. That's like somebody trying to compare LA to New York City. It doesn't happen. We don't have telephone poles. It's totally fucking different. Like technically we do, but it's not in the city. But what it does is it creates a totally different mindset. We may all do the same shit, but we all have a different way of going about it. And that just becomes a demographic thing. But regardless, what makes Vegas different is the fact that, for one, this is a fucking city built on smoke and mirrors.
Yes, sir.
Pretty much.
Straight out the bat. There are too many motherfuckers that don't even know the fucking Mormons fucking funded this shit. You know what I mean? Like,
Latter day?
The whole, right? The whole ideology behind this place that's still prevalent today still like exists, and that's kind of what affects how things go on. It's a tourist destination,
And it always will be. So we have to work around those, just like you said earlier. Work around the current situation.
Yeah.
That's what drives all the shit that happens. I personally don't have a problem with it. I respect that it exists. The Strip is its own entity. The other side of Vegas is what facilitates that entity.
Yeah.
But I can't be mad at that. That's the mindset because that's what we need as a city to survive.
Because it wouldn't be what
We survive on motherfuckers that are willing to bet their mortgage and lose.
That's right.
So it takes a certain mindset to come out here to save your money. Come out here and take that chance. So that's a totally different animal. And the way that permeates from the Strip outside, it does affect us. But that's why we can't compare ourselves to the LAs, the San Diegos, and
We're in a bubble.
We are.
We're completely unique.
We are.
Yeah. One thing I want to add on the solutions, if we're still on that topic,
Yes.
is
please.
the fact that I really think a lot of the older heads, that are kind of stuck in our ways or in their ways, we really shouldn't bash on what the new kids are listening to. Because if they really feel it, be it tech house or techno, even though it may sound like droning, repetitive shit to us, the thing is I think that's part of the solution is
New blood?
that too, but it's like also, being happy for them that they like what they like. And maybe even, going to some of those parties and trying to befriend them.
Oh yeah.
And, maybe, introduce them to some Jackin' House or some Funky House, and
That's the best.
I think that by, just supporting what they like, we don't have to like it, but I guess having respect for what they like creates a better pathway of communication. And I think that's probably why sometimes you won't see younger cats at certain events or vice versa, because there's this undercurrent of non-support that's going on there.
Acrimony.
You know,
Well, I mean, to a certain extent, it's unavoidable because when you're dealing with older cats,
right?
older cats are not going to prioritize something that they don't like.
I totally agree.
Whereas younger cats are a little more flexible.
Right.
But I totally agree. I think what makes it harder is that I'll put it like this: there've been plenty of friends that I've supported,
Sure.
and I walk in and go,
What the fuck?
"What are you doing here?"
Yep.
Like I'm here to support my friends. I don't give a fuck about the music.
Right.
I don't like that shit.
Yeah.
But I'm here to support you.
Right.
You know.
That's right.
But the thing about it is that whole night was cultivated. It wasn't as slapshod. You know, it wasn't. You know, at least it had, you know, a theme. It went somewhere. Whereas, especially when you're older and you see how things change, motherfuckers not only get disenchanted in a way, but at the same time, it really doesn't make any sense. You know what I mean? So you have the cat that's opening playing his 3 a.m. set, you know, and he gets to play the whole fucking set. You know, like no one's saying, okay, hey, look, man, it's too early for that shit. You know, like there's no real.
3 a.m.
It's one thing to not dig something inherently, and I get that. There's a lot of shit that
You can separate them.
I managed to weather.
Yeah.
I don't have to like something to have a good time. You know, and that's why I say creating an experience.
Sure.
You know, if all it is just, you know, 12 motherfuckers in a 6-hour night, you know, and everyone's just going for it.
Ugh.
It feels like it. You know, because it hasn't been cultivated. That night doesn't progress in a certain way.
There's no meaning. There's no rhyme or reason to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. No,
I think that most cats, even though they don't like something, can kind of get it.
Yeah,
If it was still a good experience.
Sure.
They'd
But
appreciate
I
it.
do agree, though. I do agree.
Well, I was like, you know, I was having this conversation with Jordan Handel
love that dude.
a couple months ago, and you know, we were kind of talking about. I was talking about the kind of down tempo stuff I like to spin, which is obviously more on the disco funky side. But the stuff that, you know, he's playing, a lot of the cats that are playing are coming through his night. It's more, you know, slower tech house based. You know, and
it works. I love his night. It works.
it works.
It works
And
incredibly.
the thing is musically, it's a lot more simple.
Yeah.
And the bass lines are a lot more simple. And I guess what I'm saying is that, you know, if it's like if we just, you know, I guess support the fact that these people are into it, not that we have to be, maybe there's a chance that we could influence them onto some other music.
I know that you can. Like,
You know
listen,
what
I
I mean?
appreciate good.
Yeah.
But not good or bad is apparent whether into the genre or not. Like
Right.
I love what he does. It's like I've only been there a couple times. I won't beat you to saying it.
Right.
But I'm all about
It's
it.
a great vibe.
It's so good. And I've had this theory running that show me someone that's into, especially broads who are chicks, ladies, girls, who are in the tech house.
Sure.
If I can get there and do what I do, I can change them over. I can get them on the floor. And it's happened pretty much every time.
Right.
And that has nothing to do with embracing their deal. But I know that they're more malleable to good. Now,
Sure.
you know what I'm saying? And so am I. I'm down with it.
I guess what I mean is
You know?
we shouldn't isolate ourselves. We shouldn't separate ourselves and, you know, do the
about separating you.
typical. Yeah, I'm sure you are. The typical human thing, like you know, humans are very tribal by nature, and we like to, you know, consolidate ourselves into separate groups of what we like and just stay there. But I think as far as solutions go, we kind of have to support a little bit of everything. We don't have to like it,
Which
but
is the same.
right, you know, and it's like whether it be young or old or in the middle, you know, these cats that like simple bass lines and chunky tech house, you know, it's like if we let them know that we feel, you know, that we're not against what they're doing,
Right.
that we don't shun what they're doing, you know, there's a good chance that we can influence them or maybe open their minds up to another side of house or another side of dance music.
They're way more receptive to it.
They'd be more receptive to it. And to me, that's a huge thing, you know, and it takes a lot of work. And, you know, I don't know, that's my point, I guess.
The sage is
I
something.
think what it is not only is it necessary, the only thing that's more necessary than that is that it can't be contrived. You know,
Right.
because like when you said that, it made me think of, something that somebody was telling me that was seemingly unrelated, but it was talking about like this whole Instagram thing. It's like follow for follow, you know, and it's like this whole contrived that how people get their numbers up kind of shit.
Fake fannery.
Yeah,
Sure.
you know. So I mean, as long as it's not that, you know, because unfortunately, that's the thing with a lot of the youngsters that most of the old heads like.
Yeah.
Like, dude, put it in your pants. What the fuck is you doing? Like, you know, it's obvious that they're just trying to, you know, not all. Don't get me wrong.
I see what you're saying.
But then it goes both ways. Whereas, you know, you have, you know, the cats that aren't maybe possibly not getting the kind of love they may think they deserve. That are just grasping at straws and just going shit. And
Skill about it.
yeah, right.
Grasping at straws and trying to get at it.
This is real
Yeah.
Browning.
Hey, Bezo, hit me with your joint. We gonna
Bezo.
I can't drink anymore.
Huh?
I've already had 2.
Really?
I'm going to ask.
I'm not gonna say that
I
again.
got drive.
It was a jerk, knee-jerk reaction.
DUIs.
Say,
47
really?
years old.
Really?
So, but what I was gonna say is, as long as it's not contrived, because I do agree that it is necessary.
Maybe open mind. Just have an open
Support
mind.
begets support first and foremost.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Now, and that's one of the reasons why I've been focusing more on getting new recruits, because I honestly believe that you can't really depend on the motherfuckers that created the scene to support the scene.
Yeah,
Sure.
kids.
You know, but be that as it may, a lot of cats just don't have those kind of resources. You know, some of us live on, I mean, from the outside looking in, it seems like a luxurious life to be able to go out all the time and chop it up, you know, but y'all need to know about tax write-offs. But
And setting
Well,
time and setting timers.
I'm not even necessarily talking about
Yes.
going out and chopping it up all the time. I think of a lot of it is like, you know, your perspective and the energy you put out, you know, and just kind of how you carry yourself or how you think about things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That, to me, that's support in itself.
it's only seen when you go out, though.
That's true.
You know, I've noticed that in the years that I've done this, like I've only done it for the love, and you know, and the love's brought me to quite a few different cities. The more I love house music and the more I like give to it, the more I get shown love. That's just the way it is, you know. You got to give your heart to this in order to like really receive it from others that like don't know you or didn't care about you before. When they hear your tune or they hear you spin or they get a glimpse of you vibing it up with one of their closest friends in a different place because of house music brought you there, like real house music, like real vibes. You know, there's nothing bigger than that, you know.
I'm gonna say I totally agree. I'd have to leave some room for the fact that if that's all you do, at some point there are people that will just continue to take advantage.
Yep.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like I'm just talking like just from an adult grown folk business side of it.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Whereas I mean that has to be balanced out with knowing your worth. Because I still love, like, genuinely, you know, but at the same time, if I'm not home making money, it's an issue. You know, I can't do that willingly. I'm not being a responsible adult if I go somewhere for the love. Now, there's sometimes when it's worth it and it's warranted and it's fun and it's badass and I have no fucking regrets. But then there's times when it's like,
Divide the power to
me not being home costs me money, you know. So like, and that's where, you know, we're really needed when it comes to the newer generation as far as knowing your worth. Every option isn't an opportunity. So just because you get an option to play, and you know, which like us, they're willing to do for free, but that's part of what makes it different now. You know, like, and because on one side, it serves as a tool, arguably, to get us out the door because we want to be compensated. And why the fuck should I pay you when Joe Schmo is willing to do it for 3 drinks?
Sure.
And he brings 19 of his girlfriends and their boyfriends with him.
Girlfriends.
Yeah, but they all
That would be the best case scenario.
But they're all rolling. All they go to the bar for is water.
Yeah, and
You know?
and they're mostly dudes.
Or they're parking lot pimping, you know.
And they're hanging out, shuffling in the parking lot.
Hey,
Around the car.
Shoes, I mean, you shuffle away.
Get it up.
We're
Yeah,
drinking
hold on a
the
second.
Colt 45 from 7-Eleven.
But in the end, when it's all said and done, there is a unique balance, and the bottom line is that a lot of us old heads have to step up. And don't get me wrong, just because a motherfucker's old doesn't make him smart. Doesn't mean you ought to listen to him. Now, unfortunately, that doesn't make everything I say true. Doesn't make everything he says true. All us old motherfuckers, just because we say it, that doesn't make it the gospel. But when you take that in and you juxtapose that against what you think it is, and it's just grown folk business. It's called deductive reasoning for a reason, you know. So with that, I'm gonna close it out. Make sure you check out the new release of Soul Supplement Records, which is
Disco Trisket.
Disco Trisket.
DJ Danny Toker. DJ Danny Toker. Coker.
DJ Truck Nuts.
Truffle Nuts.
Bigfoot.
Truffle. Skunts.
A bunch of fucking assholes.
Hey, who the fuck else was Soul Supplement have a fucking label? No, I'm kidding.
Just
Nah,
63
man.
motherfuckers.
Hey,
It was good
yes,
times.
you know.
Make sure to check out Danny Coker.
Disco
Lipptrixx. Disco Tricks is out on Soul
Family
Supplement Records.
Affair.
On Soul Supplement Records.
God damn it.
Pop him in his
Out
face.
now.
So, and thank you for tuning in.
Much love, everybody. See you
Thank you
Sunday.
guys for being here.
And make sure to hold on.
Hold on.
Let me close this out.
Close him out. Damn.
Be sure to look these guys up. Be sure to look up all the nights that I told you about. Hopefully we get to see you on Second Sunday, tacos and beer. And we'll see you on the next one. Until then, there's no peace without unity. Let's close it out, fellas.
Dong dong.
Yamas.
Wi-Fi.
Wi-Fi.
Peace.
Pizza spicy.
Motherfucking Malakas.